Hello and welcome to the LCV online pub quiz Halloween Spooktacular. Can people hear me? Do I sound clicky and or fuzzy and or anything like that? Do I sound very quiet for some reason? All useful information that people could tell me. Do let me know if you... Ah, lovely. Okay, Mike can hear me. That's all we need. And I mean, it's a significant advantage to him if he is the only person that can hear me. Now, hang on a second. Let's see if I can make myself a bit louder without causing too many problems. There we go. So, who do we have in the house, as people are wont to say? We've got the Walthamstow Wonders, we've got Double Trouble, we've got Tentin Quarantinos, we've got OK Zoomers. Let's see who else we got. We've got Big Fact Hunt, we've got E17 Massive, we got Team Titanium, we have Gone Viral, Not Great Not Terrible, and Alto Gether Now. Fantastic. They are here now twice as well. And yes, no, you're absolutely right. I tell a lie. This is not at all the LCV online pub quiz Halloween Spooktacular. This is, of course, the LCV online pub quiz Halloween Spooktacular. I wanted to change it to pube quiz, but I was voted down. And tenors on crack. Sorry, tenors on crack. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a fair few people in. Looks like we have more people getting in. So let's see if we can do a little bit of admin on the way in. And if I, as ever, have clicked the wrong thing, there we go. So first of all, our grand prize is once again intrinsic rewards, mostly because we have neglected to change it from the back to school quiz slide. So there we go. Once again, you're going to be very happy with having accomplished something within yourself. Apparently we also have Thin Quizzy. Oh, you got buzzing coming over. Okay, hang on a second. Let me fix this. Just a moment. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's now too loud. How's this for us? Yes. Okay, now, can people now hear me? Do I sound better? We are now buzz-free, apparently. Or just Jason was always buzz-free and we were very behind. Either way, who else do we now have in here? Well, importantly, we now have, of course, Les Quizerable. So, as ever, the ones to beat. And let's move on. So, how are we going to beat them? Well, by following the rules, of course. And those rules are no Googling, no referencing of any kind. This must all come from your own noggin and or team deliberation. All submitted forms are final, so hopefully you've all seen forms. They've certainly been in an email. They may have been on Facebook and places like that. I'm not entirely sure. I definitely haven't posted them in the description because that's the thing that I forgot to do when I was being all smug earlier on, saying I'd finished all the things that I needed to do. And points are allocated F1 style, so that is whoever comes first in a round gets 10 points. Whoever comes second gets 9 points. Then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 until everyone after that gets no points for that round. Yes, the quiz administrators, who like to be styled the Spanish Inquisition, will award discretionary points for hilarious answers. Similarly, don't be a pain in the arse because they can award discretionary negative points. Also, we have asked you for teams of not more than 8. We can't do anything about that. And we've also asked you to spell your names consistently. We also can't do anything about that. However, once again, you know, if we're seeing problems, then we're less likely to give you discretionary points. And, oh, hello. We've also got Wine Flew in. Hello. And that is the standard rules. However, there is, of course, one rule that is always returning, and that is the Joker. So we will ask you to pick a round to be your Joker, and you will get double points for that. So if you get first place in that round, you get 20 points. If you get if you get 11th or beyond on that round, you get 0 points. So choose your Joker round carefully. And the rounds that you'll have that you can put in, and you'll be able to put this into the, you can put your Joker round into the answers for round. The rounds that you have available to you are the picture round, which is called Trick or Treat. We have round, and that will be issued during the break in the middle after round 3. Round 1 is I Ain't Mything You At All. Round 2 is Hysteria Lane. Round 3 is Terrorvision. Round 4, Old School Ghouls. Round 5, Sounds Horrific. And round 6 is Losing the Will. Of course, when you submit round 1, the only round that you'll actually know for certain what it is round 1 itself. So it's going to be a bit of a gamble which one you go for. But anyway, let's see. Apparently the answer rounds are different from that. Well, that is always a problem. As ever, this is possibly the earliest that we've ever gotten together as an Inquisition to make sure we've got everything set up, and also the latest that we were dotting I's and crossing T's. So, well, we'll let the Inquisition come up with a solution for what you have to do about which rounds to do and so on and so forth. But I mean, obviously, you know, go for... what am I going to say? Once again, yes, wait for the Inquisition, so that is Jess, Ben, or Mira, to appear in the chat, and they will tell you what we need to be doing with our rounds. Anyway, actually, hang on a second. Excuse me, you're going to need to actually write those answers somewhere. Okay, we will ignore the titles. This is the message from on high, is that we will ignore the titles of the rounds. Round 1 is round 1 regardless of what it says at the top of the answer form, and that will make life easier for everybody. It is as it is on the screen at the moment. So you put your Joker down as the name of the round as you see it on here, but fill in the forms in the order that they come. I think that is what we're going with. So we can start with round 1. It is I Ain't Mything You At All, whatever it says on the form. And this is going to be mythical creatures. So we're going to have questions about mythical creatures, and you're going to have to name that mythical creature. Very simple. So first off, what is Scotland's most famous and secretive mythical creature? So what is Scotland's most famous and secretive mythical creature? So in case anybody is new to the quiz, and obviously welcome if you are, we're always happy to bring in new people, fresh blood, if you will. We leave a little break after each question just to make sure that people have an opportunity to shout at each other. Most of our teams are going to be on Zoom calls and so on and so forth. So there's lots of talking over each other and their microphones not working and forgetting to unmute themselves and all of those kinds of things. We will also hopefully have a recap screen at the end of this, unless it turns out we don't, in which case we won't. Oh wait, hang on a second. Okay, yeah, Zoe has a fantastic question, which I'm sure somebody's going to address while I'm reading question 2 for you. And question 2 is, which ape-like creature allegedly inhabits the forests of North America? So which ape-like creature allegedly inhabits the forests of North America? And once again, we have ourselves a judgment call, an executive decisions, if you will. So if you are selecting your joker round, it is the title that matters, not the number. Obviously, the number really doesn't help you in any way at all. The title doesn't particularly help you, but at least you can have a good stab at it. So, number 3. Which snow creature forms part of Himalayan folklore? Which snow creature forms part of Himalayan folklore? And number 4. Who was father of Cerberus, Hydra, Chimera, and Sphinx, among others? So who was the father of Cerberus, Kerberos if you will, Hydra, Chimera, and Sphinx, among others? Next up, question 5. In Egypt, this beast had the body of a lion and the head of a man. In Greece, it had the breasts and head of a woman and wings. Apparently that's a question because it has a question mark. So, presumably, the beast we're looking for. In Egypt, has the body of a lion and the head of a man, and in Greece, has the breasts and head of a woman and wings. Which beast is it? Though I do now want to do a Jeopardy round at some point. But anyway, maybe there's one this week. Who knows? Number 6. In Irish mythology, which creature's wailing generally heralded the death of a family member? So in Irish mythology, which creature's wailing generally heralded the death of a family member? And number 7. Shrek, though a particularly endearing example, was which type of mythical creature? So which type of mythical creature was Shrek? Number 8. In the Harry Potter series, Fenrir Greyback and Remus Lupin are examples of which shape-shifting fictional creature with their curse brought on by the light of the full moon? So, what type of shape-shifting fictional creature are Fenrir Greyback and Remus Lupin? Number 9. The trials in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692 and 1693 were concerned with rooting out and killing women believed to secretly be which mythical creature? So, which mythical creature did the trials in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692 and 93 try to root out and kill? And final question, number 10. This fire-breathing mishmash of a monster was a lion with a goat's head in the middle of its back and a dragon's head for a tail. So this fire-breathing mishmash of a monster was a lion with a goat's head in the middle of its back and a dragon's head for a tail. What was it? And now with a skosh of luck, we should be getting a recap screen. And there we do. So that is your recap, which means you now have 3 minutes to submit your answers for round 1. Please use the round 1 answer form, as that also has space for you to put on your joker round, which you will put the name of your joker into. You will ignore the round numbers on that because apparently they are wrong. So 3 minutes. This is your 1.5 minute warning. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that should be everything in. Now I'm seeing one person at least saying that they're having trouble submitting answers. Do let us know if you are having trouble submitting answers. If there is a general problem, we'll need to know about that before we move on. And yes, so when you are submitting your okay, looks like Quentin Tarantino's have submitted their form despite whatever happened. Anyway, yes, when you are submitting your forms, submit them by round number. It's only the jokers that you want to put the name of the round on. So round number on the forms that you go for. That is fine. Ignore the title on the form rounds. Apparently Double Trouble are also having trouble submitting, but as long as we know about that, then we should be fine. Right, so let's move on and see what the answers should have been if you were able to submit your answer form. So, first off, Scotland's most famous and secretive mythical creature is, of course, the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie, if you will. I believe Jess is currently singing the theme tune for Nessie. But which ape-like creature allegedly inhabits the forest of North America? That'll be Bigfoot and or Sasquatch, depending if you are or are not nasty. The snow creature, which forms part of Himalayan folklore, is the Yeti. Is it just Bigfoot in the snow? We may never know. And the father of Kerberos, Hydra, Chimera, and Sphinx, among others, is, of course, Typhon. In Egypt, this beast had the body of a lion and the head of a man. In Greece, it had the breast and head of a woman and wings, and that was, of course, the Sphinx, which you'll remember is the child of Typhon. At least in Greece. In Irish mythology, the creature whose wailing generally heralded the death of a family member, that will be the Banshee. And Shrek, though particularly endearing, was of course an ogre. And in the Harry Potter series, Fenrir Greyback and Wolfie Wolfman were of course werewolves. And the trials in Salem were to root out and kill witches, which I'm not entirely sure count as a mythical creature, but that's what we're going with. And the fire-breathing mishmash of a monster, which was a lion with a goat's head in the middle of its back and a dragon's head for a tail, was, of course, another child of Typhon, the Chimera. So there we go. Hopefully you got most of those. And let's go to the next round. So this is Hysteria Lane. And this is going to be, if memory serves, this is going to be names of places, and these places have spooky seeming names or Halloween themed names, but we have missed out letters haphazardly. So we need you to fill in the blanks in the names and tell us the full name of these places. I think that makes sense. So, number 1. So we have blank R-I blank H-T Wood, which is in Canterbury. So blank R-I blank H-T Wood in Canterbury. What is that place? Next up, number 2. We have H blank LL blank blank S Grove in Bradford. So in Bradford there is a place which is called H blank double L blank blank S Grove. Now I want to do a blankety blank round. Anyway, number 3. We have in South Buckinghamshire is, I assume we're talking South Buckinghamshire, a place called South Bucks somewhere. Blank UM blank blank IN Hill. So that's blank UM blank blank IN Hill. In just a moment, it's looking a lot like my stream might have gone down and or something along those lines. If people can still hear me in the chat, let me know. Oh, no, it's back up, apparently. So can somebody say a hello in the chat so I know we're still connected? We are good. Okay, fantastic. Number 4. We have in South Downs walking trails, blank E blank IL apostrophe S Dyke. So blank E blank IL apostrophe S Dyke. Yes, I'm pretty sure that we don't have any dashes in any of these names or any hyphens in any of these names. So all of these dashes are blanks. Otherwise, of course, I'm sure we would have used underscores to make it more obvious. So, number 5. We have blank AMP blank R blank way in Farnborough. So in Farnborough, you'll find a place called blank AMP blank R blank way. And number 6. In Gloucestershire, you will find blank blank BLIN ledge. So blank blank BLIN ledge in Gloucestershire. And number 7, we have G blank blank M apostrophe S Dyke in Harrow. So another Dyke, this time in Harrow, which is G blank blank M apostrophe S Dyke. Then number 8, we have S blank 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 Y, so that is 3 blanks, Hill in Vale of the White Horse. So in Vale of the White Horse, we have S blank 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 Y Hill. Next up, we have number 9, which is BR blank O blank blank TI blank K Lane in Botley. So in Botley, you'll find BR blank O blank blank TI blank K Lane. And finally, for this round, number 10, we have... okay. It's possible that I've not read all of these yet. So, in North Pembrokeshire, we have Pwllcrach. I think that's right. Oh, wait. Pwllcrach. There we go. The blank ITC blank ES CA blank LD blank ON. So, that is Pwllcrach, the blank ITC blank ES space, because there's another word, CA blank LD blank ON in North Pembrokeshire. You'd think going to university in Wales would teach you how to pronounce things in Welsh, but apparently not. So that is everything, and I believe we should now have a recap screen, in which case, yes, we do. So you now have 3 minutes to submit your answers. Submit them, please, on the round 2 answer form, whatever the title of that happens to be. This is your 1 minute and 15-second warning. Thirty seconds remaining. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is your time. You should now have all of your answers submitted, and with a bit of luck, they looked something like this. So, in Canterbury, you would find Fright Wood. In Bradford, you would find Hallows Grove. In South Buckinghamshire, you'd find Pumpkin Hill, whereas in South Downs walking trails, you would find Devil's Dyke. Farnborough is home to Vampire Way, and Gloucestershire is where you would find Goblin Ledge, whereas Harrow is the home of Grimm's Dyke. The Valley of the White Horse will find you Scary Hill, whereas Botley is where you'd go to look for Broomstick Lane, and finally, Pochlerach is the Witch's Cauldron. I may be pronouncing Klingon at this point instead of Welsh, but anyway, there we go. So, now we've been asked to make the next one a little bit easier, and presumably you were hoping for this one to be about tequila. Television did tequila, right? I think that's what they did. Anyway, the point is, we're naming the film or TV show, so you are going to see 5 somewhat spooky, Halloweeny, whatever, TV shows, and then 5 somewhat spooky, Halloweeny TV films. And you just have to name what they are. We're going to see clips from all of them. And yeah, just tell us what they are. Now, with this one, we are going to have a recap screen at the end, so do let us know before the end if you need us to go over any again. So, let's get started.
In a dark, dark town, there was a dark, dark street. In the dark, dark street, there was a dark, dark house. In the dark, dark house, there were dark, dark stairs. Down the dark, dark stairs, there was a dark, dark cellar. And in the dark, dark cellar, some skeletons lived. There was a big skeleton, a little skeleton, and a dog skeleton. Woof!
On to number 2.
We will be taking off in 3 minutes.
Mr. Chambers, don't get on that ship. The rest of the book, it's a cookbook.
No! No!
So, names, sources, runners, everything you got.
No!
Dear, oh dear.
Okay, I'll give you a name.
It occurs to me I probably should have put a content warning at the top, but being that this is the Halloween-themed TV and film round, there are likely to be some things that are a bit disagreeable in it. Anyway, number 4. And on to our final TV show of the film and TV shows, number 5.
I like cereal.
I like potatoes.
I like cereal.
See, and I like potatoes.
I like cereal.
See, and I like potatoes.
I like cereal.
I like potatoes.
Cereal.
Okay, from here on out, we are looking at films. So all the next 5 are going to be films. So what is this one? Number 6. On to number 7.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Then number 8, and I will remind everybody that we do not have a recap screen at the end of this, so if you do want me to go over any of them again, do let me know in the chat. So number 8 is...
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut!
On to number 9.
You'd move a bit quicker if it was dinner time.
Hamish! There's a zombie right behind you! Move! Run now!
Zombie? Zombie? What are you going on about?
Oh, it's a zombie. Oh.
Run! Zombies! Oh no! Oh.
So we've had requests for repeats of number 2, number 3 and number 5. But first we will show you the last one, number 10. So back to number 2 we go.
We will be taking off in 3 minutes.
Mr. Chambers, don't get on that ship. The rest of the book, it's a cookbook.
Whoa!
And we've also been asked to recap number 3, so here it is.
So, names, sources, runners, everything you got.
No!
Dear, oh dear.
Okay, I'll give you a name.
And number 5 is...
I like cereal.
I like potatoes.
I like cereal.
See, and I like potatoes.
I like cereal.
See, and I like potatoes.
I like cereal.
I like potatoes.
Cereal.
On to number 6. Then number 9.
You'd move a bit quicker if it was dinner time.
Hamish! There's a zombie right behind you. Move! Run now!
Zombie? Zombie, what are you going on about?
Oh, it's a zombie. Oh.
Run!
Zombies, oh no. Oh.
And while we're here, I'm going to thank Catherine Craven in the chat for doing God's work. And finally, number 10, we're going to do a recap of... And that is your lot. So, you now have 3 minutes. Wait, no, 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to submit your answers. Please remember this is round 3, so please use the round 3 form to submit your answers in the next 2 minutes. This is your 1 minute warning. 30 seconds remaining. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You should now have all submitted your answers to round 3, and they should have looked something like this. Or I'm not clicked on the right thing. Well done me. So first up we had Funny Bones, classic Welsh children's television. Next up we had Twilight Zone, that was of course To Serve Man, classic episode. And then Spooks, which, you know, isn't that spooky, but they still call it Spooks. Then Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that was of course the episode Hush, and that is why all you heard in the background was, what's it called again? Dance Macabre, that's the one. Okay, finally, of the TV section, we have Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. And then number 6, we have Nosferatu, eine Symphonie des Grauens. And or a symphony of horror, I think. And then number 7, we had Get Out. Number 8 was, of course, Child's Play. It was not Chucky or anything like that. The first film in that series is called Child's Play. I think all the films in that series are called Child's Play. Number 9 was, of course, Cockneys versus Zombies. And finally, number 10, easily enough, is Halloween. So hopefully you all did very nicely on that. And now you have 10 minutes to have yourselves a little break, compose yourselves, get yourselves a drink, maybe some food. But more importantly, in those 10 minutes, we would appreciate it if you would take yourselves to bit.ly/LCV in disguise. So that's all lowercase, all one word, LCV in disguise, where you will find the picture round. Now, your picture round, we need submitted after round 4. So we've just had round 3. Round 4 is the next one after the break. And at the end of that, along with the answers for round 4, we will want you to submit your answers for the picture round. As ever, when you type in this address, you may find that it downloads it instead of opening it directly, in which case, look in your downloads folder and you may find it there. Otherwise, we will see you in 10 minutes. and I make that about 10 minutes. Now, you may be thinking that this being the Halloween Spooktacular, that I should have gotten myself dressed up or something, but sadly what happened was that instead I died. And yes, I am now an ex-quizmaster. I have shuffled loose this mortal coil, so I wasn't able to dress up because it turns out it's difficult to find costumes for the deceased. I mean, obviously you can find funeral clothes, but they don't work. You just apparently just turn up in whatever you died in. So luckily, I was wearing the Quizmaster hat and holding a microphone and sat in a nice swivelly chair. So that has proved very convenient for me. It's been tricky to plug it into everything. I had to go full Patrick Swayze, go learn from a hobo in the underground. But there we go. I've learned enough to be able to plug things in and get things working. So that should all be fine. More importantly, though, let's see what the scores are looking like. So, first up? No. So with a bit of luck, I am told that we've done this well in time, and therefore we should have ourselves some scores. I don't know how many screens of scores, we're going to find out. So, bottom of the pack, we have right at the bottom, Cool Cats at 20. Then Small but Spookily Formed at 21. The Masked Singers and Tenors on Crack both on 23. Corono She Didn't, that is on 26. Les Quizarable on 28. Titanium on 29. And OK Zoomers on 30. This feels like a top of the pack. However, maybe it's just a massive upset, or maybe we just don't have a lot of teams. Let's find out. No, we have just had some upset going on. So, with 33, we have Basic Instinct. 34 is Thin Quizzy, the Walthamstow Wonders, and Not Great, Not Terrible. And Zombie McZombieface and Alto Gather Now, are both on 35. And I presume that's it. No, it's not. Oh my God, we have a whole other thing. Oh, the excitement going on here in this room of just me. So with 36, we have Tenting Quarantinos, E17 Massive, and Double Trouble. With 37, we've got Gone Viral and Big Fact Hunt. And 38 is Wine Flu and Bitch Perfect are on at 40. This is quite the new arrangement of teams. Now, it's entirely possible that what this means is that a lot of jokers have yet to be played. We will find out after the next 3 rounds, and specifically after round 6, whereas this one is going to be round 4. So, round 4, and please keep in mind that you should have been doing over the break your picture round. So hopefully you've got that mostly completed, as we will need it at the end of round 4. And round 4 is old school ghouls, after which we'll want your picture round. And I believe this one is going to be monsters from literature. That, or I have no idea what this round is. Let's find out. So, first up, who is the monster? Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde? So, is Dr. Jekyll or is Mr. Hyde the monster? Next up, number 2. Stephen King's It appears as a clown in the early part of the novel. What kind of creature does it embody toward the end? So what kind of creature does Stephen King's It appear as towards the end of the novel? Number 3. What's the name of the sea creature that features in Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Tennyson's poem in which it is the title? So Tennyson's poem in which it is the title and Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea feature which creature? On to number 4. Which monster has a poisonous wart at the end of its nose? So which monster has a poisonous wart at the end of its nose? On to number 5. What's the name of the one-eyed monster with a taste for human flesh from the Odyssey? So the Odyssey presents us with which one-eyed monster with a taste for human flesh? On to number 6. Medusa, who could turn people to stone with direct eye contact, had hair made of what? So of what was Medusa's hair made? And number 7. There are 3 main antagonists in Beowulf, the first of which isn't really described beyond being very terrible to look upon. What is its name? So what is the first main antagonist of Beowulf described as very terrible to look upon? Then number 8. What is the name of the boy who wreaks havoc in his household before his bedroom transforms for a journey to where the wild things are? So what is the name of the boy who wreaks havoc in his household before his bedroom transforms for a journey to where the wild things are? Number 9. What's the name of the fictional monster originating in Japan who is described as an enormous, destructive, prehistoric sea monster awakened and empowered by nuclear radiation and who has been the subject of at least 4 Hollywood films and many computer games and comics? So which Japanese-originated monster is described as an enormous, destructive, prehistoric sea monster awakened and empowered by nuclear radiation? I've been sipping a lot of water, I will have you know. So number 10. How many times bigger did Dr. Seuss's The Grinch grow his heart in order to stop being a monster at all? So, how many times bigger did Dr. Seuss's The Grinch grow his heart? You're quite right, Zoe. It should be Seuss. I let that one slide because I would pronounce it Zeus. I don't know why I didn't there either. But anyway, there we go. So those are our 10. With a bit of luck, we've now got a recap screen. Yes, we have. And so there we go. That means that you now have 3 minutes. And at the end of those 3 minutes, we want 2 forms submitted. We want your picture round form and we want your round 4 form. So you now have 3 minutes. One and a half minutes remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That should be all of your answers in. And damn it, Morgan, now I've got the Planet of the Apes musical stuck in my head. Anyway, more importantly, we should now have your answers in for the picture round and for round 4. And speaking of round 4, this is what the answers should have looked like for said round. There we go. So, it is Mr. Hyde, or Edward, who is the monster in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It is a spider, is what Stephen King's It appears as at the end of the novel. Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Tennyson's poem both feature the Kraken. And the monster who has a poisonous wart at the end of its nose, well, that's the Gruffalo. The one-eyed monster with a taste for human flesh from the Odyssey is, of course, the Cyclops. And Medusa had hair made of snakes. The first antagonist, described as being very terrible to look upon, that was, of course, Grendel. And the boy who wreaks havoc in his household before going to where the wild things are, that is Max. The fictional monster originating in Japan was, of course, Godzilla. I don't know if any points are going to be awarded for Gojira. And the Grinch grew his heart 3 times in order to stop being a monster at all. So there we have it. Hopefully you had similar answers to that. And we can move on to round 5. And that is Sounds Horrific. As you may have guessed, this is, of course, our music round. So we have somewhat spookily themed songs in here. And all you need to do is tell us the name of the song and the artist. You are going to hear all 10 of these in a row with 3-second breaks between them. And then you're going to hear them all again afterwards. And that will be your lot. So pay attention the first time round to what it is that you need to pay more attention to the second time round. And here you go with that first time round.
And said, whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
No, I ain't much of a poet, but I know somebody once told me to seize the moment and don't squander it. Cause you never know when it all could be over tomorrow, so I keep conjuring. Sometimes I wonder where these thoughts spawn from.
Yeah, ponder it, do you wonder? No wonder you're losing your mind the way it wanders.
I think you was wandering off down yonder and stumbled on to Jeff Van Vondren.
You'd better hope and pray that you make it safe back to your own world. You'd better hope and pray that you'll wake one day in your own world. Bum 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 bum. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave, I will not let anything take away.
When I'm in the shower, I'm afraid to wash my hair, cause I might open my eyes, just a little touch. But maybe showers remind me of psycho humor. That's why
And let's hear those again, shall we?
You can keep your love for me just like you were a miser, and I'll admit it wasn't very smart. So I went out to find myself a guy that's so much wiser, and he told me the way to win your heart. Ooh ee ah ah. Ooh ee ah ah.
I want loads of clothes and fuck loads of diamonds. I heard people die while they're trying to find them. And I'll take my clothes off and it will be shameless, cause everyone knows that's how you get famous. I'll look at the sun and I'll look in the mirror. I'm on the right track, yeah, I'm on to a winner.
Out from his coffin, Rex's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
No, I ain't much of a poet, but I know somebody once told me to seize the moment and don't squander it, cause you never know when it all could be over tomorrow, so I keep conjuring. Sometimes I wonder where these thoughts spawn from.
Yeah, ponder it, do you wonder? No wonder you're losing your mind the way it wanders.
I think he was wandering off down yonder and stumbled on to Jeff Van Vondren.
You'd better hope and pray that you make it safe back to your own world. You'd better hope and pray that you'll wake one day in your own world.
Bum 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 bum.
Time stands still, beauty and all she is. I will be brave, I will not let anything take away.
When I'm in the shower, I'm afraid to wash my hair, cause I might open my eyes and find someone standing there. People say I'm crazy, just a little touched, but maybe showers remind me of psycho humor. That's why.
And that is everything you're getting. So you now have 2 minutes to submit your answers, starting now. This is your 1 minute warning. $30 remaining. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is your time. You should now have submitted all of your answers, and hopefully they all ended up in the right place, because apparently the previous answers managed to go walkabout, but we did find them eventually. So this is what your answers should have looked like.
Very superstitious, writings on the wall. Very superstitious, let us about to fall.
So that was Stevie Wonder playing Superstition. In that video, he was playing it on Sesame Street. And apparently he decided that Sesame Street needed themselves a 7-minute jam version of it. So that's what he did. It is not called Superstitious, and it is not any other Stevie Wonder song. Number 2. And that was Der Höllerrache kocht in meinem Herzen from Die Zauberflöte, which is K620 of Mozart's repertoire, which you may know as the Queen of the Night aria from the Magic Flute. What we will give you points for is entirely up to the Inquisition's discretion. That particular version, we'll probably allow Mozart, but that it was in fact the Edda Moser version, backed up by the Bavarian State Opera and conducted by Wolfgang Sawallisch, which is, of course, what is on the Voyager spacecraft, I believed. I think both 1 and 2, along with a whole load of other great songs. So number 3. Oh, and of course, I believe it is probably the most sung song in our choir, so no excuse not to know what it was. Number 3. That was something which is copyright striked, so we couldn't show it to you. That was the Witch Doctor by the Cartoons, was that particular version. So what you would have seen instead was a lot of people in weird 50s style cartoon caricature clothing, and the song chorus would have gone something like, I told the witch doctor I was in love with you, do, 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 do. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you, do, 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 do. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He told me, ooh, ee, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang, and so on. Followed by number 4, which is The Fear by Lily Allen, which is also apparently administered by Warner Media Group and therefore also copyright struck. What you would have gotten was a clip from the video to that, in which there are some very creepy sentient presents, giant presents going around with human legs, and it's all very strange, and it goes, I don't know what's right and what's real anymore. I don't know what I'm meant to feel anymore. When do you think it'll all become clear? 'Cause I'm being taken over by the fear, or things in key. And yeah, so The Fear by Lily Allen. And then number 5.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
And that was, of course, Bobby, Boris, Pickett and the Crit Kickers blatantly miming along to the Monster Mash, because apparently that's what people did back in the old days before auto-tune. Number 6.
I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. You think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy. Well, that's not fair. Well, that's not fair.
And that was, of course, The Monster by Eminem featuring Rihanna. And then number 7. I always had to turn off the chart show when that would come on because it would terrify me. But that was Stay by Shakespeare's Sister. And of course, it is very important to spell Shakespeare's wrong. Otherwise, you are instead identifying a Smiths song. Number 8, or you are referencing Virginia Woolf. Either way, this is how you should be spelling Shakespeare's Sister if you are looking for the band. Number 8.
Mr. Sandman. Yes? Bring us a dream. Give him a pair of eyes with a come hither gleam. Give him a lonely heart like Pagliacci. And lots of wavy hair like Liberace.
And that was Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes. I think from the same show that we managed to get that clip of the Monster Mash from. Once again, extremely mimed. Now, I've got people complaining about the apostrophe in Shakespeare's Sister. I think they say the apostrophe in Shakespeare's Sister. I believe if we fact check that, you'll find that there is no apostrophe. I might be wrong. We'll soon find out. Number 9 is once again copyright struck because that Warner Media Group, they're just so good at these things. But of course, it's one that you should have known anyway because it is a choir song. What you would have seen instead is lovely clips of Christina Perri with thousands of candles around her being blown out dramatically while Edward and Bella say I love you to each other because they're getting married, and it's doing a I have died every day waiting for you, darling, don't be afraid, I have loved you for 1,000 years, I love you for 1,000 more, and then you hold that for ages because it's hard. Number 10, or
I wonder who's watching me now. The IRS. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream?
and that was Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell. Although Jermaine Jackson and Michael Jackson are both featured in the song, they do not feature in the credits for the song, or at least certainly not in the title credits for the song, because apparently when you are Berry Gordy's son, you don't have to share billing with anybody, no matter how much of a Jackson they are. So there we go, and now we're on to the final round, round 6, Losing the Will. This is a round generally about all things to do with misery. So let's see how this goes for us. I don't think I've seen any of the questions in here, so this will be a learning experience. So first off, what is the name of the character played by Kathy Bates in the film adaptation of Stephen King's Misery? Number 2, where we find out if this is a mastermind round specifically about the book Misery. People worry about kids... name the film. People worry about kids playing with guns or watching violent videos, that some sort of culture of violence will take them over. Nobody worries about kids listening to literally thousands of songs about heartbreak, rejection, pain, misery, and loss. Did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or was I miserable because I listened to pop music? So, what film was that quote from? Number 3. Melancholic is one of the 4 temperaments or humours in Greco-Roman medicine. Name the other 3. So, there are 4 temperaments or humours in Greco-Roman medicine. One of them is melancholic. What are the other 3? Next up, number 4. We have 3 points available for this one, and that is name the 3 people responsible for writing the novel and the musical Les Mis. So we want 3 people, if you want all the points, that would have written the novel or the musical Les Mis. Number 5. What is the term emo short for? So the term emo is short for what? Number 6. The Depression Trilogy was a series of films made by Lars von Trier, starring which actor? So, which actor starred in the Depression Trilogy? Number 7. Miserlou was sampled in a song by which band in 2006? So, which band sampled Miserlou in 2006? Number 8. When was Black Tuesday and what does it mark? So when was Black Tuesday and what does it mark? Number 9. The B-side of the Smiths song Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now is called Suffer Little Children. But what is the song about? So what is the song Suffer Little Children about? And then the final question of the entire quiz. According to the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, what is an innate characteristic of life and death? So what is an innate characteristic of life and death according to the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism? Of course, when you have a round that seems like it might be far, far too difficult, that seems like an ideal situation to try and get yourself some humour points. But anyway, that is it, and hopefully we have a recap screen, which is this one, and so you now have 3 minutes to submit your form for round 6. This is your 1.5 minute warning. "30 seconds remaining. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and that is it. You should now have submitted the final answer form for this quiz, and it should have looked something like this. Or I will click on the screen. There we go. So, first of all, the character played by Kathy Bates in Misery was Annie Wilkes, and people worry about kids playing with guns or watching violent videos. That's some sort of culture of violence will take them over. Nobody worries about kids listening to literally thousands of songs about heartbreak, rejection, pain, misery and loss. Did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or was I miserable because I listened to pop music? Was, of course, from High Fidelity. The other 4 temperaments in Greco-Roman medicine were sanguine, choleric and phlegmatic. Your 3 people responsible for writing the novel and the musical Les Mis are Claude Michel Schoenberg, Alain Bloublil, and Victor Hugo. The term emo is short for emotional hardcore. I would not have got that second part. Anyway, the Depression trilogy was starring Charlotte Gainsbourg, and Miserlou was sampled by the Black Eyed Peas. Black Tuesday was on October 29th, 1929, and was the start of the Great Depression. The B-side of the Smith song, Heaven Knows I'm Miserable, which was called Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, which is called Suffer Little Children, was about the Moors murders. And finally, according to the 4 Noble Truths of Buddhism, the innate characteristic of life and death is suffering. Now, that was, of course, our last round of answers. However, there is another round of answers that I have not shown you yet, and that is the answers to the picture round. And they look something like this. So, you are asked to identify the famous person and what they were dressed as, and it would look something like Liz Hurley as Beatrix Kiddo, or the bride, from Kill Bill, or Kill Bill 2. Then Harrison Ford as a nun, when we're not aware that he was any particular kind of nun. There we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the Hulk, possibly the Incredible Hulk, if you swing that kind of way. Then you have the Carter family from as the family from Coming to America. Is that King Jaffe Joffer, or is that? I don't. Anyway, next up we have Simon Pegg as a zombie. Then John McEnroe as John McEnroe. Harry Styles as Elton John. Then Anne Hathaway as Cleopatra, though I've seen some news outlets, dubious news outlets, refer to it as an Egyptian goddess, so I'm not sure where you go with that one. Then we have Bette Midler as her character in Hocus Pocus, which I believe is a Winifred Sanderson, something like that. And then finally Kelsey Grammer as Sideshow Bob. I got that wrong the first time I saw it. I thought it was Blanca, but turns out no. Who knew that Blanca and Sideshow Bob look so alike? So there we go. Hopefully you got all of those. And I believe that means we now have another break, because, we can't go this long without letting you go to the toilet or something like that. So you've now got 10 minutes, and then we'll be back, hopefully, with some final scores, which you're all very excited for, because the middle of the road scores, the midpoint break scores were extremely exciting. So, 10 minutes. Okay, so I think it's been more than 10 minutes now. So let's try and get this right. So the film Kill Bill has a character in it, in the script at least, that is known as the Bride. Now that character, the Bride, is known as that in the script so that we don't know her real name, which we find out in the second film is Beatrix Kiddo. Now Beatrix Kiddo at some point becomes a member of the Deadly Vipers assassination squad, and in that she gets the code name Black Mamba. Now at some point she tries to leave the Deadly Vipers assassination squad, and when she does that she of course has to take an assumed name, and that assumed name is Arlene Machiavelli, and because of all that confusion that's why people just know her as the Bride. So all of those I'm assuming got some sort of points. So anyway, speaking of some sort of points, I'm sure you probably want to know what the scores are. So let's see if I can make those happen, aka for you. So switch back to the screen and let's see. So bottom of the pack. Will it still look like our previous bottom of the pack? Or will I have not clicked the thing that I need to click? So, down at the bottom we have Cool Cats, then on 39, then the Masked Singers on 45. Small but spookily formed are on 49, Not Great Not Terrible on 54, The Walthamstow Wonders on 56, Basic Instinct on 58, Thin Quizzy on 59, and Altogether Now on 60. Moving on to the middle of the pack, we have Coro No She Didn't on 61, Tenors on Crack on 63, Gone Viral on 65, E17 Massive on 66, Wine Flu and Double Trouble both on 67, Tenting Quarantinos on 68, and Zombie McZombie Face on 69. Nice. So, our leaderboard looks like this. Titanium on 72, Bitch Perfects on 73, Big Fact Hunt on 74, Les Quizerable on 76, and our winners this week, returning after a while I believe, is OK Zoomers on 78. Well done OK Zoomers, and well done everybody else. We hope that you have had fun, and we hope to see you again soon enough when we do our next quiz, which I'm sure we'll do another one at some point, as soon as we've deliberated that and try to work out what we can do about that. So there we go, that's it, probably until next time. That makes sense, it probably will be until next time. Thank you for watching, thank you for taking part, thank you for listening, and we'll see you probably next time.